my influence? If no, then how did you prevent yourself from getting that temptation?
Sometimes you feel that other way of things. That also pays. It is not that it doesn't pay. Sometimes it pays. But you have to take a call at the time, whether you will follow a right track or you have to follow a track which will give you a quick success. But what I found, quick success is for a short period. If you want to have a long-term success, then it has to be through your right work with good intentions and hard work. And that is where the education system we have to build in. And people in the schools and colleges, today they are more worried about the pay packages, quick bucks. So we will have to education system, we have to build in that hard work, good intention, and good studies also pays, but that is more sure. Probability of success is much higher. It is not that other people will not succeed. Their success rate is much lower and it is not in the long term. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I have a question, please?
Two quick questions, please, because we will be summing up with each panelist now.
It's from me. My name is Srinivas Prasad. Basically, the panelists said that corporate responsibility for the CSR is basically to create jobs, and in turn, as outcome, the corporate gets benefited. At least I think differently. If you look at the history, what happened in Tata Steel, it's the only industry where labor unrest happened in 1935, and when the British was running the entire company. At that time, Mahatma Gandhi sent, what we learned from the archives, he sent Subhash Chandra Bose, but because of his aggressive speech, the labor unrest increased. Then they sent one architect from Karnataka, we are proud to say, Dr. Sir M. Vishweshwaraya, who laid the principles of CSR and human relations and human resource management at Tata Steel, which has led to the long-term stability, sustainability, and definitely Tata's never looked for the profit or for the interest of their own. They created peace, industry peace, and social responsibility. They took it as per the guidelines set by Sir M. Vishweshwaraya. I don't think creation of the job or creating wealth for their own corporate is the expectation of the corporate. Basically, they should look for industry peace for their own sustainability.
Yeah, thank you for your opinion. One last question, then the panelists will sum up.
Abhay from Pune. My question is to all the panelists. I would like to refer 10 days back Times of India news, which was saying that rupees 26,000 crores will be available for CSR in the Indian scenario because of the government regulations. So the question is whether in reality the industries are prepared to take up this challenge of consuming 26,000 crores rupees, or whether the foundations like Art of Living or some other charitable trust, are they prepared to have this particular amount put in good cause in reality as a social responsibility and not only as a paperwork of the government to fulfill the social responsibility?
Any quick response from any of you gentlemen? We'll sum up after this.
Your worry, your question is genuine. But if you see the CSR framework in India started from 2010. Earlier people were doing it not in a very structured manner. So now it has come in a structured manner in 2010. And the new regulation which has come now, which will be effective from 1/4/2013, have a dual structure, at one at the highest level, in the board level, and at the management level. So I am sure, and if you see for the last 2 years, the CSR thing is becoming more serious and serious. Definitely it will take a shape. I am confident in the next 2-3 years, you will find substantial change, because we have to change ourselves first before asking government or PSUs the individual concerned has to be first concerned about it. Once we are concerned, we will see that everybody fall in line. So your worry is correct, but I am confident that in the next 2-3 years, more framework, more structured framework will come up and we will do better and better. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Ma'am, last one
I
question.
suggest that you can take the email IDs of the people present here.
This is for the entire panel.
Be very brief, please.
Yeah, sure. We are talking about economic crisis and the human touch in it, and also we are talking about CSR. In my view, there is something called ecosystem. This is all for society, right? There's an ecosystem. And the key stakeholders in that ecosystem, apart from the citizens, apart from the business leaders who are one of the key contributors to that, also the government. Today, when we are talking about corporate responsibility towards society, government is doing various things, which is rightful. But there are various things which are not contributing in the right way. And that is, in my view, is affecting our economy in a very structured fashion, in a negative way. So-called rural employment schemes, so-called social schemes by the governments, it's all affecting the economy in a very wrong direction. And that's one of the contributors for the inflation as per the economic studies, right? Even in the recent economic survey. Now, given this, when the economic crisis happens for the corporates, and there is an impact being created by the government schemes also. Now, if corporates, while in the right direction, we are talking about corporate social responsibility, if government is driving towards some of the factors which are crippling the economy, now how do we address that part? Because ecosystem has to work together.
Right.
It cannot be corporate one side. Yeah.
You know, the answer here would be private-public partnership, because we are all equal stakeholders. We cannot blame the government. Government is who? Made of you and me at the end of the day. And we should be the beacon, the wake-up call for them. So this is it. I would request you to continue this dialogue with the panelists through email and so on. Thank you very much for your attention. Now I would request the panelists one by one, 1 minute claim to fame to leave your last word behind. Sudesh?
I'm not sure if I can summarize the discussion, but I'll make a few points very quickly. If any of you are interested and, if you have an interest in Kannada literature, please go and read up this book called Baligondu Nambike, which is written by Dr. D.V. Gundappa. Now, there is one statement he makes there which I want to share with you here, that look, out of the 4 Chaturveda Purusharthas, as they call it, which is the Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha, he says that this Artha and Kama, which is the money and the desire, have relevance only within the framework of Dharma and Moksha. For more details, please read that book. Second is, since a large part of the audience is from Karnataka, you all know Shivram Karanth. So Shivram Karanth, in one of his books, talks about 3 kinds of runas which we all have. Number 1 is the Pitru Runa. Number 2 is the Acharya Runa. And number 3 is the Samajika Runa. And the debt that we owe to society is something that we have to honor. 3, and I'll make this and the last point. Number 3 is that, this friend Sanjay made the point about, how much to leave behind for the next generation and things like that. So Warren Buffett said something like this. He said, look, I will leave enough for my children that they can do anything, but not enough that they will do nothing. So that's a point you can keep in mind. Okay? One last story, which I will very quickly narrate. I work with teachers, so one of these teachers went to school. And in the school, he asked the child in front, look, do you remember your father's name? So he said, yes, absolutely. So then he asked, how many of you remember your grandfather's name? Almost every hand went up. So then he said, look, how many of you remember your great-grandfather's name? So it came down to about 10 people in the class. So then he said, look, how many remember great-great-grandfather's name? So it was hardly anybody. So then he flipped the question and said, how many of you know about Jesus Christ? Everybody went up. How many of you know about Gautam Buddha? Everybody went up. So he said, look, he is not your grandfather, he is not your great-grandfather, but you know Jesus Christ, you know Gautam Buddha, but how come you don't know about your own grandfather? So one little girl stood up there and said, look, I think there is a difference. My grandfather lived for himself, while Christ and Buddha lived for others. Society remembers people who live for others.
So to summarize what we have done during this hour, it's maybe to say to you that you are really privileged. And in that sense, we feel it profoundly when we came here as Europeans. You're privileged to have so many people able to spend time to discuss about all this question of value. I must say that in Europe, this question of value is a question of decline in value, and that's very important in the way the society is really moving. Of course, we agree with what you said about the objective is creating jobs, because youth without job mean youth able to believe any stupid ideology that can run around, and there is a lot. And that's maybe what we have also to keep in mind, that you have really an incredible chance to have a content to implement here. And we don't have it anymore. I think that most, maybe part of the society could still have, but most of the society in Europe, we doesn't have any more debate like this on value. So really feel this as a privilege in this area.
As a business man and a corporate, I would like to say that if you want to grow in your life, believe in Ruchi's philosophy of right, relationship, innovation, teamwork, and excellence. If you have all these four, you will be growing, which we really did as a company from 1986 when the company was formed. From $1 million turnover in 86, we are over $5 billion company with this philosophy. On an individual level of a spiritual path, I would say that you should have values like a checkpost in your life, and you must visit such good places with Shishi ji and others, so that you are able to correct yourself if you deviate, because you really need to have a checkpost in your life. And with the last, I unlock myself many times, so I write little poems and I believe in singing. So on behalf of all of you, I just written 4 lines for Guruji. So I'll just speak. If you would like to speak, you can also speak. Guruji, आपके ज्ञान से मिलता सबको समाधान. गुरुजी, आपके ज्ञान से मिलता सबको समाधान. हर मुश्किल रहा अब हमें लगती आसान. यूं ही खिलता रहे जीवन हमारा आपके आशीर्वाद से. यूं ही खिलता रहे जीवन हमारा आपके आशीर्वाद से, और जाग उठे सारी मानवता आपके अनंत नाद से. धन्यवाद. थैंक यू.
I shall sum up with 3 things. The number 1, that whatever you want to see the change, or whatever you want to see that society or everyone should do, you should do first. If you want that corporate or anybody should contribute, do some good job, first you start doing yourself. And you need not be a preacher, you should be a practitioner. Then it will be more quicker in implementation. This is number 1. Number 2, you should have a good intention to do something for the society. And try to do as much as you can, and without saying that someone will come to me, ask me, tell me, then I'll do. Don't bother about much. Try to do whatever you can do with good intentions, and don't worry for criticism. People criticize who works. Who does not, nobody criticizes because people don't remember him. Whoever does work, people criticize. So don't worry for criticism. Do for whatever you think good. The third is our education system should imbibe the value system. If you ask our young, even our sons, and they will not know, they might not have Ramayana or Mahabharata. None of the stories like he was telling anybody knows. So the value systems comes from the traditions, from the epics. And we have to see that our education system should bring some part of it, the thought process, the theme, what many of our old people had from their grandparents or from the parents. And with this, I thank all the people for our present hearing, and I thank also the ashram, and particularly grateful to Guruji to give us an opportunity to come and speak here. Thank you.
Friends, let me not come too much between now and the lunch, but just a quick summary. One, I think when we talk about be it a corporate responsibility or philanthropy, it starts with personal value system. That has to be set right. And the personal value system, whatever we carry with us, defines the corporate values. And that ultimately becomes social values. So it's very important. So I think getting the value education right, getting the family values intact, getting it as part of the core DNA is very critical. Otherwise, there's no way that the family legacy can sustain, number one. Number two, while we all need to do some amount of work, some amount of good work for our society at large, you also need to figure out that where you can be the best catalyst. If you have 100,000 rupees, maybe you can give it to a school